Okay, before I get started, I just want to make a quick shout out to the following YouTube channels. These four channels by far have been the most entertaining, insightful, educational, just the best YouTube videos out there regarding the silver market. So big thanks to Silver Futurist, Airline Trading, Endless Mountain, and Scrap Gold Business. If you don't know about them, you haven't watched their videos, check them out, definitely watch them. Okay, I've only been in the silver market for about a year. And since then, I've come to understand, whether independently or by gained outside knowledge, certain things. The stock market is doing well, or good enough, for an unknown reason which I cannot pinpoint. Unemployment is still above 8%, which apparently is the new normal. People who are employed are either being paid less or not receiving raises, and things that we own no longer cost the amount that they used to, like houses. On top of that, inflation is creeping in, and let's say the price of crude oil dips one day, the price of gasoline at the pump does not dip, and in some cases becomes even more expensive. Now, I've realized that on YouTube there are a vast majority of people that do not believe that silver is currently in a bubble. I believe it is. And I also believe that all bubbles eventually pop. Now, when this burst will occur and how severe it will get is anybody's guess. Personally, I think it's going to be relatively big, possibly even totally demoralizing, depending on, what your stance is. And not to harken back to a time before I was born, but in 1980, after the Hunt brothers did whatever they did, the price of silver dropped 50% in 4 days. I also understand that there are corrections in the market, which is totally different from crashes. When the silver bubble bursts, it will probably be a crash and not just a correction, in my opinion. It took 30 years for silver to reach this plateau again. How long after the next crash will it take? And will you wait? Now that leads me to a point that I had made a couple of weeks ago when the price of silver was about $40, and that is my end goal. What's my end goal? What could it be? What should it be? And I asked a couple of questions. I got some feedback. I believe that there's two camps regarding this. The first camp is to keep your silver investment as a safety net against inflation, as things like an untouchable or an illiquid asset for retirement, or if you're Glenn Beck, a bargaining mechanism if shit gets really screwed, right? Basically, you keep it regardless of what happens and for the long haul. The second camp is pretty much the exact opposite of that. You buy low and sell high. You wait for the bubble to begin to burst and get out before the price goes down, making a profit and walking away to possibly put that profit into something else. Now, I have to admit that I do not subscribe to the first camp at all. Like I said, I've only been in it for about a year now, but the return on investment in just that 12 or 13 months has been so outstanding that it's more attractive for me to get out before the crash than to wait it out 20, 30, 40 years and wait for that $100, $200 silver. My concern is not with when exactly this burst will happen, but how severe and how fast it will happen. Are we talking about a $10 decrease in a day? $20 decrease? Obviously no one can tell the future, but you can speculate. And unfortunately, I do not have the experience to speculate. My other concern is that I have physical silver. All coins. I do not own very much bullion. They're all, 90% silver coins. I can't sign on to E-Trade and click sell. I'm going to have to go to either a coin shop or, someone on Craigslist or somebody that's willing to buy from me. If the burst occurs one day and instead of selling it back, when the store opens at 9 and I wait until after I get out of work around 4 or 5, could the price be down by $20 over the course of those 8 hours? How does that work? Anyway, you know, I've heard horror stories about people who can't let go, and you know, though at one point they could have been profiting 500% or so if they sold it, psychologically they refuse to sell it. I believe Erelon said it's the asset appreciation that they get infatuated with, and they can't sell it. You know, as for now, I'm riding the silver tide, and hopefully when the time comes, I'll have the right kind of eyes and be able to see ahead of time the high water mark, that place where the wave finally breaks and rolls back, and I'll cash out. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy collecting/investing.